Hello everybody and welcome back to our Moneyball series. Now first things first, it might sound a little different. I just bought a brand new microphone. So if it sounds a little bit off or a little bit different, I'll try to tweak it as we go. But I've tested it. It's sort of like close to what the settings I had before. The news is there is a new microphone. That's why it sounds slightly different. It's not your laptop or your computer. As you can see, we've added a few new columns to our overall view of players. We put the ability in because that's our assistant manager. Now, one thing really important to know about the stars, I've never been a fan of looking at stars at everyone football manager. The reason is I knew early on, from years ago, all they are your staff's opinion of that player and where they are in relation to your squad, basically. So if you buy like a first team player in a position and he looks like he's 5 stars in relation to your team, maybe your division as well, but definitely into your team and to the players within your team. So then if you went and bought a better player next year, he would drop in stars. Not that he's got any worse, but your team's got better. So I nearly always ignore stars. I never ever look at stars. I cannot stress that enough. But we can only look at so much. So what you've got to consider is just looking at this. This is our assistant manager's opinion of these players in the team, right? That's all this is. Now, 3 things that I love to have, and I actually put together one of these for my own team when I was coaching it in academy. So you've got game-win ratio, which is really interesting. So we'll see that there might be a really good player that we play every single match. We think, what a player, star player. Yeah, he's the one. He's the one we're going to be putting in there every week. Captain, leader, legend, that sort of stuff. And then every time he plays, we notice that we actually win just less games. It may not always be his fault. It could be that he's played against all the top sides or something like that. You know what I mean? Just something like that. And it could be there's a player that we never play, but when he does, we win. You might miss it like yourself, but we're going to have it here. Game-win ratio, so we'll see their win percentage of when they're on the pitch. I don't know whether that counts if they come off the bench for like a minute and we win the game, whether that goes up. So we'll find out how flawed that stat is. And that's, again, going back to, you've got to contextualize your stats because I don't know how that's going to work out. It could be anything, right? Okay, so then we move on to team conceded per 90 minutes. This is really interesting. I'm so pleased that we've actually looked on this series. I've looked at all these stats that you can add onto this page that I never had. So we're going to look now at when these players are on the pitch, how often do we concede per 90 minutes? So for defenders, it's really important. And then team goals scored per 90 minutes. So I think that we can't have literally every single stat across this, or we can try. But it's, we've got all the basics you get in the defaults when you play with the default selection info. This is a copy of selection info. We've now got some interesting core stats that we can look at before we then go more in depth if we need to. Because we can always look at something specific if we need to. But this is just like our general overview page, right? That's what this is supposed to be. So we get that in there as well. So we have a good little rundown of what's going on here. Their condition and sharpness, which we always need to know if they're going to play. Their morale, which is obviously important, playing time, see how happy they are, that's also important. Last 5 games, I think, is quite important. See what form they're in. And then their general appearances, goals and assists, which again is like, because of the depth we're looking at, that's important to know, but it's not essential. There's many more things to our play than that. And average rating. So I think we've got pretty much everything that we need as an overview. If there's anything I've missed, please let me know what you think and we'll put it in. But I think that's good for an overview, right? Let's have a look at our formation. Now, I don't know whether this factors in the system that we play, because we need 3 centre-backs. But I think we probably would do. I don't know all of these players. I know a few of them because I've played against them or seen them or bought them myself, a couple of these. So I do know how good some of these players are already and roughly what their attributes are. Playing a 3-5-2, I want one centre-back that's mobile. So we may have to look for a centre-back. We can't look at attributes, so it'd be like centre-back and scout them and hope the scouts come back with like strength, his overall pace. Now that could mean 12 or it could mean 14. I don't know what they're going to possess. I don't know what the criteria is for them to say they possess good pace, right? So we could try and get one mobile centre back in, right? I'd say we need probably a backup left wing back because Remy Beats is the only real one. We definitely need a right wing back, I think. And I'd take one central fielder, one striker. Now, we've got a load of strikers, but I know that none of them are like proper in behind pace strikers. They're either complete forwards or they're like hold-up forwards, all of them, right? So I want something just a bit different. So that's what we're going to sort of look at. Now, last episode, we did actually look at trying to buy a right-back, right? And the reason I'm starting this episode here, as we've not really continued to the last one, is in this episode, I'm going to skip through like a few weeks. If there are any players that become available from these other leagues that we like, I'm going to try and get them, but I'm going to show you the process of how we're going to go through and scout them and all that kind of stuff. And basically at the end of this episode, we'll play our first game of the season as well. But I thought I'd just show you here. It's going to be like an episode that goes over quite a long period of time. But at least we get into our first game where you can see if we do sign any players, that's what we're going to look at. I just thought I'd show you like this little bit here before we get into the first game. And if we sign anybody, it could be the next time we see each other, it could be the first game and nothing's happened. So I'll see you in a bit and we'll see if we can pick up anybody along the way. Back, you've not missed a single thing in terms of players coming in or out. We have brought the staff in though, so the staff are now into the club, most of them. I think we only missed out on one person, so pretty good actually. We only managed to miss out on one, so everybody else is in. So everybody we brought in either fits into our formation as their preferred formation or their playing style, and then the personality as well, if we can get that. So that's pretty much how everybody's been selected as a member of staff. I decided to look for some players that were English, just so that we knew we could definitely get them with the work permit. And yeah, nobody's really played any matches still, so that's slightly disappointing. But there we go. At least we know we can look for some of these. Let's see what about other positions actually. Generally, this is still looking for wing backs though. There's a couple there. I mean, it's not great, is it? I think we'll still leave it a few weeks until we get some like League One, League Two, some Championship matches in under our belts as well, so we can skip through that. And so we've still got quite a few matches, so we could make all of our transfers around this period. And that'll still be 4 matches to work with in terms of stats, so we could still make some transfers. I still do want to bring in some people. I'm a bit concerned about the lack of transfer money, but I mean, I did get a couple of offers for Emil Palmer and for who I think is pretty good actually, and he's pretty quick for midfielder. While selecting a team for today's game then is going to be really difficult. I mean, set piece takers first and captains. Like, it doesn't say the leadership, so I selected Callum Britton as captain. Don't really know why. I just thought that he would play no matter what, whether it's as wing back or as a right centre back. So I'm not sure. Walton's a goalkeeper, so I'll put him in there. Collie Woodrow got removed as captain, so let's put him up there. It's 3, and then that'll do. Penalties ain't going to show, is it? I think it is already preset to be in order, so we'll just play it safe, I think, and just go through the list here and hope that it has done it in proper order. But we'll find out. Right, in terms of the team then, we haven't got any stats to go off of just yet to look at who we're going to play, because the friendlies don't count towards the stats. So Walton's going to go in goal. I think he's the better one. Well, actually, no, Brad Collins is listed as better. Now, do we trust system manager there? I thought Walton was an okay keeper. He was the first choice last season in real life for them, by the looks of it. Or did they split the minutes then, actually? Well, apparently last season they split the minutes. One of them must have got injured. I don't know. Do we just trust the assistant? Oh, it's so difficult without attribute, isn't it? It's so difficult. Oh, I think that Walton's actually not too bad on the game, if I remember rightly. I'm going to go against him for the goalkeeper. Right, centre-backs. Now, Mads Anderson hasn't played a single friendly. He's been injured, so there's no point in looking at him. Jordan Williams is a good mobile centre-back, I know that, so he can go in. Middle centre-back, I have no idea. Like, he's worth a lot of money, but he's got a terrible rating for current ability for the team. And then we've got him, and he's apparently a good player as well. So we'll play those 3. Then Callum Britton can go in as right wing back, Remy Vita left wing back, and then the midfield 3 can be Palmer. I know Callum Stars is a half decent player. Can he play central midfield? Yes, he can. So he goes in the middle. And then Josh Benson's apparently not the best. He's 3 stars. Oh yeah, Queen is a good player. He's got to go in the team. Okay, that's good. That's what's that. Up front, Colton Morris is good. So is Devante Cole, and so is Aaron. Aaron's fairly quick. I think that if I do this in reverse order, he's a complete backup. Collie Woodrow, I don't think he's actually that good. And he's got comes deep to get ball, which I hate as a player trait. So he's the last choice striker there. And I know he is probably the second least favourite player of mine. So he'd be the next one. So it's between these 3 for the first choice places up front. That does cut it down for us quite easily. I'm going to go with Colton Morris, I think, and then Devante Cole on the bench. We'll do it that way. Central forward on the bench. Bassey's on loan and he's worth a bit of money, so we'll go with him on the bench. It's actually quite good. Maybe we missed a trick with having him in the team. And then we'll go with, I think, Oda to be left wing back and on the bench there. There is no backup right wing back currently, so let's just throw him on the bench for that. Gomez is like a pivot player, really. City youngster, isn't he? And then from the back 3, I guess we throw on, oh, this is tough. Apoholm, I'm going to go, no. Jasper Moon, let's go with Jasper Moon. That's our first team. I have no idea how it's going to go. Like, I mean, I just have no idea how it's going to go. Strikers, I mean, we'll see how this goes. Right, oh, wow. I've never felt so uncertain going into a save ever, or a game. Like, I've not signed a single player, which I hate. I think one of the few chunks that I have is actually in the transfer window, being able to recognise a good player for a tactic that I'm using. That's what I feel like one of the things I'm actually good at, and this takes that away. So, we'll see. It's an away game, 2 first game of the season. Everybody's lacking match sharpness. Great. Assistant manager says, pressure's all on them. Good. Now, for this save, again, I don't know what people want in terms of it being 2D with 3D highlights or just 3D. So I'm going to play the first game or 2 in 2D with 3D highlights, and I'll let you tell me what you want to see, because everybody has different preferences. If there is a majority for a certain way of doing it, I will happily change it to what people want, because it doesn't really bother me. I can always drop the quality of the crowd and make 3D work fine. We're in the way. So it's a throw-in straight away. Here we go. Vita's got whips it in, far post, it's cleared. Callum Britton on the right-hand side, he's going to whip it in. Queen out the far post, and it's at the bar, and it's cleared away. And the Moneyball strategy is working early doors, with none of my own signings that, we'll see. The other thing that I forgot to mention, that I've only just thought of now, we are supposed to be selecting players based on stats as well, right? That was one of the things with Moneyball. It's not just about player recruitment. It's very important to select your players based on the stats. If we get a player whose win percentage is incredibly high and stuff, we need to be selecting the right players statistically for the tactic. That's why it's important to get the tactic nailed down early, and then you buy players, and then we select into that tactic, right? That's sort of the idea. So that's very important to keep an eye out for. Nothing's happened, so I've just switched it to extended because I do actually need to see how the tactic's going. So this isn't like a plug in and done sort of thing. They're playing 3-5-2 as well, which is slightly annoying. That was the most uneventful half of football I've ever seen. Right, okay. We'll say, unlucky. I don't know, actually. The pundits will not believe in this today, but the fans who got them do them proud. I like that. That's good. And as an instant highlight, although we're back into extended, so this might be a nothing highlight, as Williams gives the ball away. That is why I like to put dribble less on wide centre-backs, because they seem to overdo the times when they travel with the ball, and it seems to cost us. And what's going on here, lads? Can we not get more pressure on the ball here? Oh, he's got to be offside. Yeah, he was. Right, still nothing has happened. We're going to make our first change here. I'm going to bring on Bassi, and he's going to replace Palmer, and they'll bring on Cole for Aaron, Leia, Iseka. One for Barnsley. Quinn is going to whip it in. It's going to the near post, and it's headed just wide. Okay, Callum Britton's actually struggling on the right-hand side there. I might have to take him off. I'm just going to take the striker off and put... Mark Oda is left-footed. I might put him on, actually. He can go on for Queen on the left central field. Let's see how that goes. There's going to be a highlight just before this sub is made. Left centre back into left striker to left wing back. We're going to retain the ball. We're going to get forwards, though. We do. Queen is in. Surely, Queen, come on. Play it across. Oh, no, Bassi. Oh, no. I like here. Britton throws it into Williams. Gets it back to Britton, who's going to stay on it and whip it in. Far post. Headed away. Styles gets to it. Plays it straight to left wing back. Nope. Gets there eventually. And we're just going to retain it and go nowhere. And maybe give it away at this point. What are you doing, lads? Get the ball forwards here. Cole. Morris. Oh, is it the post? So highlight immediately after. They're going to play out from the back and just ping it. We get it back. Odo gets to it. Styles. Kitching to Williams. He's got a player out here. That needs to be a winger, really. That's the prototype we want. Is somebody who dribbles. That's why I was looking at dribbles. I want somebody who, in those scenarios, can take the player on if they want to. Not just be somebody that stays on it like a fullback. Cole, play it across. Goal, do not shoot. Clem Britton. No, you don't want to shoot in there. Come on. They throw the ball in on the left-hand side for us. Right-hand side for them. They get the ball through. Collins has it. Plays it straight through to Robson Canyon. This gives a goal. Or it's just over. I like the left-hand side. Remy Vita's cross the back post is clear to, them. We should recover this quite easily, though. Callum Britton plays it to Williams, who's our wide centre-back. He's then going to play it back to Callum Britton. They seem to have just changed positions temporarily. Get the ball away from that. Yep. Kitchen to Styles. Styles to Kitchen to Helic. Going to he does. Oda's got two players if he wants him. Devante Cole gets it Bassi, and it's a terrible effort. Last highlight of the game you would expect. Cardiff start with it. It's probably going to be their highlight. Don't you dare give a penalty. Uh-oh. Space on the ball for Cardiff. Still space on the ball. That was close. There's an instant highlight afterwards. This will definitely be the last highlight of the game. Williams just... Wow, there you go. That's going to do it. A big 0-0 draw away from home with the most uneventful game I've ever seen. Let's say sympathise. I'll look at that. Drink that in. Win percentage for everybody is 0. So when I play 3-5-2 normally on Foot Manager and in real life, I like to have a pivot who's normally here. Now for that game, I decided to put them up. I don't know why. I just felt like that he was the kind of player that would play better there. And he would also... he does play at CDM. I thought he maybe didn't. Okay. So I could just change to that. It looks more defensive, but it might... If you look at the central fielder's positioning, it might just change the way the wing-backs play. It might make them slightly higher and wider. There were times where they weren't quite as high and wide as I'd like them to be. So maybe we switched to that for the second game. But that was quite a solid performance, at least, from Barnsley. But, obviously a lot of things needing to improve from that match. Yeah, a load more players than I've played matches from England. There we are. That's better. So I won't make a decision yet on players. We'll get a couple more games in. So I think in terms of next episode, we'll probably... I think next episode, we'll come back for the Luton game. We'll play that. After we play that game, we will then look at some players and start trying to finally put some bids on. and we'll go through that, go through searching some players, and then we'll play the second QPR game, and then we'll finalise the episode with us basically, concluding some transfers if we can, and in the very next episode we'll do Birmingham and the end of the transfer window is pretty much what we'll do, I think. So we'll miss this cup game, which nobody cares about, and we'll miss this one game against Coventry, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things at this point. And then we'll come back for that. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. It'll be at the start, it'll be full on loads of episodes, and then we can space out a little bit as we go. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on if you have any ideas of how you think it should go and how you'd like to see the series develop, and whether you would like to see less matches and trying to get us through the seasons. Because like if you were to play as Barnsley, for example, and you had a good tactic and you played it like normally, you probably could turn them into a title winning team within 4 years, 5 years. If you were really good and you were lucky and got them when things went your way. I just can't see that happening with us. I think it's going to take us probably 8 to 10 because we don't know who we're buying, basically. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, we're going to try and win it the Moneyball way. Like if we've got a player, let's say we do in 4 years' time, I don't know, 5 years' time, we buy Benjamin Sesko. Let's just say, for example, we do. But we've got another striker who's maybe nowhere near as good as him, is consistently performing better in terms of the stats that we're looking at. What we want them to do, they're dribbling past their opponent more, they're winning more headers, their win percentage is higher. We're going to play that player. We're going to build our team and select our team based on our statistical analysis of how we want the team to play. So, that's going to be the fun thing about it. And we're going to win it that way. We're going to win it or die trying. If we get sacked, whatever, we're going to live and die by our statistical approach, the Moneyball approach. So that's going to do the episode. Hope you're enjoying this series. I really am. I'm really enjoying this so much. I don't think I've been this invested into doing something specific in Foot Manager ever, maybe. I'm just really interested to see how it goes. And I'm just so pleased that I've actually got a platform here. I'm able to bring it to you and to share it with other people to see it for themselves. And if you are playing along at home, please let me know and let me know how you're getting on and how you're doing things, because it's always good to see. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.